everyone, today we're going to do a Halloween wreath. I had made a fall wreath out of fabric a couple weeks ago, and I thought it would be fun to do a Halloween wreath to put up now and then through Halloween, and then I can switch back to my fall wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make those fanfold flowers that look like this. Okay, here's a couple that I've done already, and I'm going to show you quick how to do those. And then we're going to go ahead and make enough to fill a wreath. So basically all you're going to need to do is use a scoreboard or something like a scoreboard. Sometimes cutters have scoring blades that you can use. That can be fine too. And I'm going to use my Martha Stewart scoreboard. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to score every ½ inch. You can score smaller in smaller increments, but I found that it's quick for me to do it this way, and it's good enough for me. So I'm just going to go straight down the line, go every ½ inch, and it goes pretty quickly. If you use a thicker paper with lots of glitter on it or something like that, because I'm using the DCWV Halloween stack from last Halloween, and some of the papers have some pretty glitter or shiny epoxy or something like that on them, and so they're a little harder to score. So if you just score from the back side, it should work just as well as it does on the papers without any of that embellishment on it. After we've scored all the way down, we're just going to fold it, and it should go pretty quickly since we've scored it in all the right spots. Okay. This one is 1½ inches. So for the 1½ inches and up, you're going to need to use 2 strips of paper, which means these are 12 inches in length, so you're going to need about 24 inches in length. For the smaller ones, 1 inch and below, you should be able to get away with just using 12 inches, so 1 strip of 1 inch long, 1 inch width paper, 1 inch by 12 inch. Okay, and then you'll fold this one, same way. Okay, then once it's folded, you're going to get something to keep the ends together. So what I've been using is score tape. So I'm just going to peel a piece of this score tape off, put it on the end, and I made it a little long, but that's okay. I can just loop it over. And then put it on the other end. And then we're going to match it up to this other one. So white to white. And then we're going to match it up on this side. Bring it around. Okay. And that's what we have. Kind of crazy. I just punched out a black circle. And it's just out of regular cardstock. What I found to be the easiest is to use a glue gun. I've tried some quick dry glues, I tried my ATG, I've tried some glue dots, but what works the best for me is a glue gun, and it's cheap and easy, right? Sticks to your finger a little, but that's all right. Then we're gonna kind of fold this into its shape, just like that. It should go together pretty easily. And then we're gonna lay it on our glue and hold it in place just for a second. And this is why it's so easy to use the glue gun, is because the glue dries so quickly. It dries way quicker than any quick dry glue I've ever used. So I've used a lot. I like to fill my adhesive box full of adhesives. And that's it. Now you can decorate the front of this also. So I'm going to keep doing this, and then hopefully then you guys can see the putting the wreath together. So hang tight. I have all of my pieces done, all of my little flowers, and I'm just adding different centers to the middle. So some of these are stamped. This is actually a sneak peek of a Pink by Design stamp that's coming out this Friday, so be sure to tune into the Ustream for that. And then I added gemstones, rhinestones. This is actually a stamp from Stamp of the Month. This next Stamp of the Month, or the Pink by Design, so is that one. Aren't those little guys so cute? And so is she. Okay, so those all came from there. So now I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and go crazy gluing them in spots and just filling this out. That's the other thing. I had a straw wreath that I was going to use, but instead, since I wanted it kind of flatter, I decided to make my own wreath out of cardstock. So basically I just used the back of the DCWV paper, and I just peeled that back piece off because it's nice and sturdy, and then I used 2 bowls and cut out my wreath. That's all I did. Super simple. You don't need any special tools. You still get to use your DCWV paper, which you're using anyway. So that's how I designed my wreath, and like I said, easy. And my son was even amazed. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start placing these where I think they're going to go, so I know I can space out my big ones. I don't want to have too many purples all in the same spot or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just for a second. Okay, now we're going to start gluing them on into place. So I'm going to go ahead and just start. I know I'm going to hang my ribbon from the top, so I'm just going to try to keep that in mind as I start gluing these little babies on. My glue gun is quite squeaky. I'm not sure why that is. But I'm going to try to tuck them in and overlap them and fun stuff like that. I knew I was going to need another glue stick. I was right. Isn't he cute? I love him. He's so cute. So cute. There we go. It's looking good. And I only have that one side done. Plus, you know what? The other thing is that those wreaths, straw or foam, I prefer foam, can get super expensive, especially when you go wreath crazy like I have. No fun to keep buying wreaths. Now, as I come across them and I think they're going to need middles, then I can go ahead and add middles to them. I didn't know how many I was going to need, how many middles I was going to need. But, so I'm going to do that in just a second. Let's put a purple one over here. Because they're not all going to need middles because they'll be tucked under and in. And let's see. You just got to kind of make it fit for you. Ooh, yeah, black. There's no rhyme or reason, just kind of what I think looks good is all. And I want to fill those cardboard spaces, obviously. So probably I'm going to put something right here on this one. Just little bits that I have. Little bits of rhinestones and odds and ends. That's it. I'm really sorry, guys, that's squeaking. I hope it's not driving you crazy. There we go. Look how fast this is filling out. Okay. Now remember I said that my ribbon, which I'm actually going to use tool, is going to go about here, so I'm just trying to keep that in mind. And I loved how this DCWV stack had pinks in it. Even though it's Halloween, it still had some hot pinks in it with oranges and blacks and purples, of course, but yeah. Who couldn't love it? Gave me a reason to use some more pink stuff. And this monster paper, so cute. I couldn't not use it. Look at those little monsters. Aren't they adorable? And that came from a piece of paper in the DCWV stack that was already in strips. You just had to cut it. So let's see. Let's put him up here. Look how cute it's looking. I think it's gonna look beautiful on the door. Okay. We'll leave this one out because there's already purple there, and I'll put my little pumpkin over here. This one reminds me of my little son. Yep, he's my little pumpkin. Isn't that pumpkin cute though? And I didn't do any shading with my Copics, I just quick colored them in. Nothing fancy. Sometimes you don't need to be fancy. It's true. And this one was just made with a little bit of crepe paper. Same way, you make it the same exact way. You just use crepe paper, and I cut my crepe paper in half. I actually folded it, fan folded it by hand. I didn't use the scoreboard. And then I cut it in half and then glued the pieces together. Okay, I think we got all the pieces. And I don't think I'm glued to the table. Now if you have some pieces of string kind of hanging, let me zoom out a little. And you can see my mess. This is the 1-inch punch that I used to make the backs on everything. Then, like I said, I used assorted rhinestones and brads, and used the glue dots to apply some of that stuff, but mostly I used my hot glue gun. And then the back, of course, looks probably kind of messy. And if you have any glue strings, just take your heat gun and go over it quick, and it'll melt those all in place. I don't really have too many. I'm not sure how I did that, but now I'm going to get a piece of glitter black tulle, which, oh my gosh, right? Perfect. And we're going to make a bow with this and use it to hang up the wreath. Isn't that going to be awesome? This tulle, it's so beautiful, but it makes quite the mess. I'm not going to lie. It makes a little bit of a mess because all the glitter falls off, and I have glitter on my desk for days, but it's worth it. I think it's totally worth it. So up here, I'll straighten this out, and I'll make a little bow at the top, and that's what it'll be hanging by on my wreath hook. And I'll post pictures, of course, at the end of the video. And that's it. There's our little wreath. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Very, very Halloween-y. Thanks for watching, everyone.